What's going on, everybody? It's Josh with TopAgentNearMe.com, and I'm here with my main man, Bryan Clark.
How's it going, everybody?
All right, so we've pretty much wrapped up our Go High Level series. We still have some parts that we want to put in there. So if you got anything you want to learn about that, let us know. We'll build it for you and we'll do a video on it. All right. But today we're going to get into some actual training for agents. All right. We're going to do a little thing we like to call the trust economy. This is our first video in that series where we go over some actual training on how to brand, how to get yourself seen, how to get clients calling you, and potential people reaching out to you to get them policies instead of you sitting there calling 150 leads a day or 800 a day or whatever it is that you do. We want them reaching out to you. We want you to be aware in there. Now, I've got a little cold going on, but I am still here shooting today. The show must go on. Bryan just spent a whole week moving across three states. But here we are on a Saturday, still making the show go on. So this one's going to be a great one. I mean, if you're wondering why you should listen to us, Bryan was voted number one coach by the people in Mastermind. That's Tony Robbins, Dean Graciosi's Mastermind classes. People pay thousands of dollars to be in that, and I've got this guy doing this stuff for free. All right, and giving you guys free training. So buckle up, get yourself strapped in. Don't forget to bring a towel. Bryan, take it away, man.
All right, let's go ahead and dive right on into this today. This is all about the trust economy and why consumers choose one agent over another, and it's not what you think. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's start with the great lie. Most people think that best coverage will actually win. And that's a story that agents tell themselves, but it's a lie. Consumers don't evaluate coverage first, they evaluate confidence first. And guys, perception sets the stage before a single policy detail is ever read. And if you don't win the trust battle, you will never get the coverage conversation in the first place. Now, at the end of the day, insurance has become Tinder. Today's consumer opens a browser, they see five agents' profiles, and they make a split second swipe decision. The cheapest wins unless trust interrupts the pattern. And the agents who understand this aren't competing on price, they're competing on perception. And perception is something that you can control. Now, at the end of the day, you are being judged. This is an invisible interview. Before a consumer ever dials your number or sends a message, they've already formed an opinion. They've scanned your photo, they've read your bio, they've checked your reviews, and they've made a judgment call, all without you in the room. And this silent evaluation happens on every platform where your name appears. Now, the seven silent questions that they ask themselves, and every consumer runs through an unconscious checklist the moment they land on your profile. Answer these or lose the lead. Can I trust you? Are you competent? Do you feel credible and safe? Do you know what you are doing? Are you like me? And will I regret this? Do you understand my situation? And a bonus, if I choose you, is it a safe bet? Now, at the end of the day, you are in a digital courtroom and your online profile isn't just a listing, it's evidence in a trial that you didn't even know you were in. The consumer is the judge. Every photo, every word in your bio, every review or lack thereof is being weighed. And most agents show up to court unprepared. Now, why great agents lose at the end of the day. Skill doesn't matter if a consumers never reach out. And uncertainty feels dangerous. And when a consumer is unsure about you, they default to an action or the next option on the list. A great agent with a weak digital presence loses to an average agent with a strong one every single time. Let's think about the Apple effect. It's the same product that everyone else is offering. It's a computer, it's a phone, it's a tablet, but it's all about different perception. Apple doesn't just sell technology, they sell confidence through presentation. A sleek design, clear messaging, and premium visuals convince consumers the product is worth more before they ever even use it. Your profile works the exact same way. A polished presentation signals quality. It raises perceived value and it makes consumers feel safe choosing you. Let's talk about the Zillow effect. At the end of the day, presentation drives action, and Zillow proved it in real estate. The same home photographed professionally generates dramatically more interest. Nothing changed about the property, only how it's presented. Your profile is your listing. Better presentation creates more clicks, more calls, and more conversations. Now let's talk about the Amazon effect. Reviews create borrowed certainty. Amazon trained an entire generation to trust strangers over salespeople. Before buying, consumers read what other buyers said, and guess what? They believe it. Your reviews are your borrowed certainty, and a consumer who has never met you will trust the voice of a past client far more than they will trust anything that you write about yourself. Now, the trust equation. This is a simple one, but a powerful one. Trust equals proof times familiarity times consistency times authority. The proof is going to be your reviews, your testimonials from your happy clients, the results that you brought to the table. Your familiarity is going to be your recognition through repeated exposure and getting your word out there time and time again, whether that's through social media, through your profile here on Top Agent Near Me, or whether that's through your YouTube channel or podcast. Next, it boils down to consistency, the same message across every touch point over and over again, all coming from different angles. And this leads to authority, which is where you have your credentials, your affiliations, and your expertise signals all built in. Now, why price shopping happens at the end of the day? It's not a consumer preference, it's a confidence failure. And when consumers can't clearly differentiate between agents, price becomes the only available metric. The fix isn't to lower your price, it's to raise your perceived value until price comparison feels completely irrelevant to the consumer. Now, at the end of the day, insurance is emotional, but logic closes while emotion opens. And consumers tell themselves that they're making rational decisions, but insurance is fundamentally about fear, protection, and peace of mind. And the agents who speak to those emotions, not just policy features, wins the relationship before the quote is even requested. Let's talk about fear psychology. The fear of loss is twice as motivating as the desire for gain. Consumers don't buy insurance because they're excited. They buy it because they're afraid of what happens without it. And agents who understand this frame their value not as features, but in consequences of being unprotected when that event occurs. If. Now, the safety bias here. When in doubt, choose familiar. When consumers are uncertain, they default to the option that feels safest, not cheapest, not the most comprehensive. Safe means familiar, credible, well received, and professionally presented. The agents who feel the safest, regardless of whether they actually are going to be the best option for that consumer. Now, your digital shelf. Profiles are product packaging. If you walk into any store, the product with better packaging grabs the attention first. Your digital profile is no different. It's your packaging on a very crowded shelf. And consumers judge quality by presentation. Outdated photos, thin bios, and missing reviews signal low quality, regardless of how good you actually are. In your first impression, you have 7 seconds. Research consistently shows that consumers form a professional first impression in under 7 seconds. In that window, they process your photo, your headline, and your overall profile feel. And most agents fail this test before they ever get a chance to speak. First impressions aren't just important, they're often final. Let's talk about your headshot psychology. Your photo is your handshake. A low quality, outdated, or poorly lit headshot doesn't just look bad, it actively destroys credibility. Consumers associate image quality with professional quality. If it's blurry or pixelated, they're going to think that you're untrustworthy. If it's a casual selfie, they're going to think that you're unprofessional. If there's no photo, you're invisible or suspicious. But if you have a professional headshot, you're safe, you're credible, and you are approachable. Now, at the end of the day, we want to focus also on profile language. The more generic we are, the more distrust that we actually create. If you were to put something like, I'm dedicated to finding you the best coverage at the best price, this is going to sound like everyone else in a crowded audience. Specificity builds trust every single time. And the more that the audience can hear themselves in the copy that you're writing, the more they lean in. So if you were to write something like, I help families in the Dallas area protect their homes and income, and I answer my phone when you call. This is going to be a very personal thing that's going to touch a lot of us because I'm sure a lot of folks that are on this meeting have missed a call from a potential client when they had a need for insurance, or missed a call from a client that they're currently working with when they needed to put in a claim, and you could hear the desperation in the voicemail on the other end. Now, generic language is a red flag, and it signals that you haven't thought carefully enough about who you serve, and consumers won't trust that you'll think carefully about their needs because of it. Positioning is extremely powerful in building out your profile. Now, generalists get compared, but specialists get chosen. And when you try to serve everyone, you stand out to no one. The agent who positions as the specialist are for a specific audience, families, small business owners, first-time home buyers, become the obvious choice for that particular segment. Now, narrowing down your focus doesn't shrink your market, it actually just sharpens your appeal in the market that you want to dominate. And let's talk about the review science. Now, at the end of the day, quantity is important. More reviews signal more trust, and consumers distrust profiles with fewer than 10 reviews. Let's also talk about recency. A 5-star review from 3 years ago doesn't reassure anyone. Fresh reviews signal that you are still delivering what you're offering, what you're promising, and what you are promoting. And specificity, when someone goes in there and they say something like, he saved me $400 and explained everything clearly, that beats great agent every single time. And why reviews compound? Referrals stop and reviews scale. A referral reaches one person, but a 5-star review reaches every future consumer who searches your name forever. Reviews are the only trust asset that keeps working while you sleep. Every satisfied client who doesn't leave a review is a missed compounding opportunity. Now, when it comes to timing, we want to ask at emotional peaks. The best time to ask for a review is immediately after a win. When a client just saved money, got a claim resolved, or felt genuinely taken care of. Emotion drives action, and a satisfied client asked in the moment of gratitude is 4 times more likely to follow through than one asked 3 days later or just 1 day later. Now let's talk about review scripts. Most clients want help, they just need a frictionless path. And here's what works. In person or on the phone, you can say something along these lines. I'm so glad I could help. Would you mind sharing that experience in a quick Google review? It helps other families find me when they need coverage as well. Or if you're sending over a text, it was great working with you. Here's a direct link to leave a Google review or a top agent near me review. It only takes 60 seconds and it means a lot. Here's the link. Now, when it comes down to these reviews and that timing that we were just on, I worked with a business earlier that we set up an automation that as soon as a client made a purchase, we sent out the review request immediately. We took that business from 37 reviews to over 300 reviews in less than 6 months just by sending that review request out at the moment that somebody made that order when they were in the high of making that purchase. So it's important to send the reviews out when you close the deal, especially if you're saving them money or enhancing their coverage. Now, let's talk a little bit about the review flywheel. Now, you're going to ask for the reviews at the peaks. You're going to go ahead and capture the review, and then you're going to be able to showcase your feedback. And then it's simple. You're going to repeat the cycle. This isn't built in a moment, it's built through a repeatable system. And the agents with the most reviews didn't get lucky. They built a process that allowed them to consistently get those reviews day in and day out. Now, your reviews are borrowed trust, and you want to leverage what you've already earned. You don't have to build trust from scratch. Your licenses, your carrier affiliations, and your industry badges are trust shortcuts. They signal that a credible third party has already vetted you. Now, your state licensing badges, your carrier logos like Allstate, Progressive, etc., the industry certifications like CLUs, CPCU, etc., associations, on and on. These all help you build trust in your business, and they can all be added directly to your profile. Now, at the end of the day, you also want to have authority signals, and credentials don't just impress, they reduce uncertainty. Every authority signal that you display answers one of the consumer's silent questions. Can I trust this person? Now, your certifications, these are your industry designations like CLUs or CPCUs, and they signal deep expertise and commitment to the professional. Your years in business, that longevity signals stability. Serving families since 2008 communicates track record. Media mentions, been quoted in an article or local news, display it, and third party validations are extremely valuable, you guys. Now, another thing here, if you haven't been in business since 2008, if you are on a team, one of the things that I did when I was in my youthful years in banking in my early 20s is that I would combine all of the staff members' experience so that I could say together we have a combined 35 years of experience in branch. We will be able to take care of any of your needs that come across the table for us. Gave so much certainty to our prospects that they would work with me at 20 years old and they would put millions of dollars in our bank. Now, at the end of the day, social proof is extremely important piece to your brand. People follow people. And when consumers see that others, especially people like them, have chosen you and had positive experiences, the decision becomes easier. Social proof transfers the decision making burden from the individual to the crowd. The reviews, the testimonials, and the client counts all do this work for you behind the scenes. And your familiarity, what's known feels safer. And the mere exposure effect is a well documented psychology. The more often people encounter something, the more they trust it. Agents who appear consistently on search results, social platforms, and directories feel familiar, and familiar feels safe. Visibility isn't vanity, it's a trust strategy. And let's talk a little bit about the trust stack. Trust isn't a single thing, it's a layered architecture. Each element builds on the last, right? Your specializations and your positioning right at the very top, your familiarity and visibility right below, your reviews and testimonials, your credentials and badges, your consistency and branding, your photo and your bio all compound and stack on one another. And at the end of the day, we fall into the commodity trap. When every agent looks the same, you're using same stock photos or same generic bio, the same vague promises, consumers have no choice but to compare on price. You created the commodity trap yourself. The good news is that most agents are doing this, which means standing out requires only modest effort with dramatic results. And what consumers actually read, the reviews beat bios every single time. As the consumer comes on the page, they're going to go to the reviews, the first and longest real voice from real clients. They're going to look through the headline, that one liner that positions you. They're going to look at your star rating and find instant credibility at a glance. And then their first two lines of the bio. The consumers don't scroll further than that in most cases. Now, eye tracking study confirms it. Consumers go straight to reviews. They trust what other clients say infinitely more than what you say about yourself. Your bio matters, but only after reviews have done the heavy lifting. And what consumers ignore, the dedicated to my clients. Every agent says this, and it means nothing to them. The best coverage, best price. It's unverifiable, and consumers simply tune it out. Over 20 years of experience without proof or specificity, it's wallpaper. I go above and beyond. Claimed qualities are dismissed, demonstrated qualities are believed. And generic claims don't build trust, they erode it. Replace claims with evidence and social proof, time in and time out. Now, the digital body language, everything communicates. In face to face sales, your body language reveals more than words. Online, your digital body language does the exact same job. Your response time on your profile signals your reliability. The profile completeness signals your diligence. The photo quality signals professionalism. And review decency signals active engagement and trust built from clients. Now, at the end of the day, everyone should do a profile honest and be brutally honest. A consumer who doesn't know you is about to evaluate your profile cold. You need to ask yourself, is my photo professional, current, and well lit? Does my bio speak to a specific person's needs, my ideal client avatar? Do I have 10 plus recent reviews with specificity wrapped into them? And are my licenses and affiliations visible with my credentials on the page? Now, if you hesitate to choose yourself based on your own profile, consumers will too. And now, big trust killers. Low quality photo. It signals a lack of care and professionalism. A weak or generic bio is going to create no differentiation or emotional connection. And no reviews or stale ones signals inactivity or worse, dissatisfied clients. And you're missing credentials. It just leaves consumers with no third party validation that you are who you say you are. Now, brand positioning. What do you want to be known for? Brand positioning isn't a logo. It's a clear, repeatable answer to the question every consumer is silently asking. Why you specifically over everyone else? And great positioning is specific, it's memorable, and it's rooted in the client's outcome, not your features. The hidden tax, weak branding makes every lead harder. You're paying a trust tax on every interaction when your brand doesn't do its job. Longer sales cycles, more objections, more price shopping, lower close rates. These aren't just market conditions. They're measurable costs of a profile that doesn't inspire confidence. Fix the brand and lower the tax. And some agents are closing easier, and it's because trust lowers friction. It's not charisma, it's not luck. Agents who choose easier have built trust through their digital presence. So by the time a prospect calls, half of the sale has already been done. And these calls become a confirmation, not a convincing argument. This also brings lower CAC. Trust makes ads cheaper, and customer acquisition cost drops when trust is high. Consumers who already recognize and trust you convert faster and require fewer touch points and are less likely to comparison shop with your competitors. Every dollar invested in trust infrastructure reduces what you spend to acquire each client going forward. This means higher referrals. Trusted people get remembered, and clients refer agents who they feel proud recommending, which means an agent who has to feel credible and professional, not just competent. And a strong digital presence reinforces your trustworthiness every time a client shares your name. Your profile becomes part of the referral. And at the end of the day, this brings less objections. You hear less of the I need to think about it, which translates to I don't trust you enough yet. I'm shopping around. which translates to you haven't differentiated yourself. It's too expensive, which translates to the value isn't clear enough to justify the price. Authority and trust preempt objections before the conversation even starts. And most objections are trust problems in disguise. Now, the consumer decision science. People buy certainty. Consumers don't buy the best option, they buy the most certain option. Every element of your digital presence either increases or decreases their certainty that choosing you is the right call. Design your profile to resolve doubt at every stage of this funnel, from awareness through evaluation, through certainty, through action, all the way to loyalty, so that you continue to keep the client and they continue to refer more and more business to you day in and day out. Now, you want to become the obvious choice where you stop competing and start being obvious. The goal isn't to be the best kept secret in your market, it's to be so clear, visibly, credibly, and positioned so that when consumers in your area need insurance, your name is the only one that feels like the safe and obvious choice to choose. Now, at the end of the day, the homepage psychology, visibility creates familiarity. And the more often consumer sees your name and your face on Google, in directories, on social platforms, the more familiar you feel. And familiarity triggers safety biases. They may not remember where they saw you, but they'll remember that you feel familiar. And being everywhere in your local market isn't overkill, it's a trust strategy. Now, the featured agent intro, guys. We just launched a brand new thing that's all about brand infrastructure, not just a listing. And the featured agent placement isn't about appearing once, it's about building that infrastructure. It signals to every consumer who finds you that you are an established, invested, and serious professional. And infrastructure communicates permanence, permanence communicates trustworthiness. Now, featured agent equals the trust layer. It's not about lead generation. Think of featured agent placement the way that you think of professional office location. It's not just where the leads come from, it's a signal of legitimacy that makes every other lead source more effective. It's a trust layer. And when a consumer finds you anywhere through Google, referral, social media, your featured agent profile becomes the trust confirmation. They return to it. It converts skeptics into callers. Now, let's talk about the compound effect. Trust compounds over time. Every review that you collect, every badge that you earn, every consistent appearance in the search result, they stack. Trust is built today, makes tomorrow's lead easier, cheaper, and more likely to close. And agents who invest in trust now are building an asset that grows in value with every passing month. And delay is expensive when doing this. Now, we're going to lay out a 30-day action plan. Week one, your goal is to audit your profile, update your photo, your bio, your credentials. Week two is to gather reviews, collect 5 recent client reviews. Week three is all about syncing your listing so that you can ensure that your directory is consistent everywhere. And week four is about featuring and showcasing where you can activate placement and trust stacks. Now, trust isn't built in one day. It can be systematically built in a month when you start with what consumers see first and build from there. And the final thought, consumers choose who feels safest, not the cheapest, not the most experienced, not the most credentialed, the safest. Everything in this presentation is about engineering that feeling systematically, intentionally, and consistently. Agents who understand this don't just close more deals, they build businesses that compound in value year after year. Start today. Your future clients are forming impressions right now. Now, let's go ahead and let's dive into Top Agent Near Me so that we can take a look at the featured agents at a glance. Now, what we've done is we've added featured agents directly to the homepage. You can see right below the search bar, if we scroll down, we are seeing featured agents right here in this placement. Now, with featured agents, you also get an additional profile enhancement if you've added it to your profile. Now, you can see here when I click on Adam's profile right at the very top, there is a 10-second video that we can play. Now, you can do a couple-minute video if you'd like here. This is all about introducing yourself and helping enhance your profile so that consumers better know, like, and trust you before they even reach out. This is a way for you to explain exactly who you are, why you got into the business, why they should leverage you. And some of the best agents that we work with, what they do is they bring past clients in so that they can add reviews to that intro video so that it's not just them speaking about their own awesomeness, it's past clients speaking about it as well. Now, with this enhancement, agents will be carouseled on the front page, and it's going to be based off of geographical location. The more agents that are added here, the more likely that you are going to show up when someone in your local market goes to search on top agent near me. Now, we've had over 200,000 unique users on our website searching for agents around the nation. We'd love to have your smiling face with a free profile claimed. And if you choose to get signed up with Featured Agent, simply go to four agents in the top right corner, go to Become a Featured Agent. It's going to break down pricing, all of the information, and you can sign up on the form just to the right here. All the information is going to be listed there. So, Josh, I'm going to kick it back to you. How are we going to wrap this bad boy up?
Man, I mean, this is what we built the whole platform on is trust. There's going to be a link down there in the bottom for you to go there. And if you're an insurance agent watching this and you haven't created your profile yet, man, I mean, it's free. And then we just launched this new product. We're kind of letting it out of the bag. That's why there's only three on there. So I'm willing to bet by this time next week, that's a way bigger carousel than just three. So if you're already on Top Agent, make sure that you check your emails. We're going to be sending out a little product launch on this to give you guys a chance to jump in there first before all the new people will get in there and get ahead of you. All right. Now, if you haven't audited your profile, definitely go do that. And I'm sure that a lot of you watching this right now that are on there have gotten a call from me or one of the other team members saying, "Hey, man, what stopped you from 100% completing? You're only at 70%." So again, we're trying to teach all the stuff that we know after over a decade of doing this for tons of different businesses, tons of different clients, all kinds of different niches, and show you what we found works for everyone. So this trust economy training was great. With that, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, give it a little good game on there, right? Get to topagentnearme.com, create your profile, and if you're looking for insurance, what a better place to go than topagentnearme.com? Find a trusted insurance agent near you. Find the one that you like that has all the credentials you like. Check the reviews, kind of all the stuff that we just did in this whole training, and get that done, man. And we'll see you over there. And with that said, thanks for stopping by, America.